Good day. For those who don't know me, my name is Wanda Lavergne. I'm a Captain Retired CD. I'm a life member of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 72 in Pembroke, and have been a member for more than 16 years. I have held the position of manager of Branch 72 for more than 12 years, and have been the curator for the Branch 72 Museum for more than 16 years. I enjoy researching and writing military history. So today's topic is about the poppy. Last year, 2021, marked the 100th anniversary of the Remembrance Poppy in Canada, which happened on July the 6th. The significance of the poppy can be traced back to the Napoleonic Wars in the 19th century, over 110 years before being adopted in Canada. Records from that time indicate how thick poppies grew over the graves of soldiers in the area of Flanders, France. This early connection between the poppy and the battlefield deaths described how fields that were once barren before the battle exploded with the blood-red flowers after the fighting ended. During the tremendous bombardments of the war, the chalk soils became rich in lime from debris, allowing the poppies to thrive. When the war ended, the lime was quickly absorbed and the poppy began to disappear again. The person who was responsible more than any other for the adoption of the poppy in Canada and in the Commonwealth was Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae of Guelph, Ontario, a Canadian medical officer during the First World War. It all began with his poem in Flanders Fields. Little did he know that these 13 lines would become enshrined in the innermost thoughts and hearts of all soldiers who would wear them. Through the words, the red poppy quickly became the symbol of soldiers who died in battle. The day before he wrote his famous poem, one of his closest friends, Lieutenant Alex Helmer, was killed in the fighting in Ypres, Belgium, and was buried in a makeshift grave with a simple wooden cross. Red poppies were already beginning to bloom between the crosses marking the many graves. Unable to help his friend and fellow soldier, or any of the others who had died, John McCrae gave them a voice through his poem. The poem was written on May the 3rd, 1915, and was published on December the 8th that same year in the London-based magazine known as Punch. It was translated into many languages and used on billboards advertising the sale of the first Victory Loan bonds in Canada in 1917. Designed to raise $150 million, the campaign raised $400 million. In part, because of the poem's popularity, the poppy was adopted as the flower of remembrance for the war dead of Britain, France, Canada, and other Commonwealth countries. Before John McCrae died on January the 28th of 1918, he had the satisfaction of knowing that his poem had been a success. It became the most popular poem of the First World War. So inspired by John McCrae's poem, French woman Anna Guérin, later christened the Poppy Lady from France, conceived the idea of the Remembrance Poppy. She originally founded a charity to help rebuild regions of France torn apart by the First World War, and created poppies made of fabric to raise funds. Her idea was to adopt the distribution of the poppy on Armistice Day as a way to raise money for veterans' needs and to remember those who had given their lives during the First World War. In 1918, Anna established Poppy Days under the auspices of her own charity. She campaigned tirelessly in the early 1920s for her Inter-Allied Poppy Day idea. Later, she presented her concept to France's allies, including the forerunner to the Royal Canadian Legion, the Great War Veterans Association. Anna's idea was considered at a meeting in Port Arthur, Ontario, now known as Thunder Bay, and was adopted on July the 6th, 1921. Since that time, the poppy has stood as a symbol of remembrance, our visual pledge to never forget all those Canadians who have fallen in war and military operations. The poppy stands internationally as a symbol of collective reminiscence, as other countries have also adopted its image to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Besides in Canada, remembrance poppies are also used in Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, all of which are realms of the Commonwealth of Nations, and all of which were victors of the First World War. The poppy is also a symbol of unity. On the morning of April the 9th, 1917, the Battle of Vimy Ridge began and marked an important milestone in Canada's military history. The battle had proven Canada's ability as a formidable force in the theater of war. It marked the birth of a nation. Each November, poppies bloom on the lapels of almost half of Canada's entire population to honor our fallen. It is an artificial flower that is our official symbol of remembrance. The center of the lapel poppy was initially made in the color of black. In 1980, the center was changed to green. In 2002, the center color was changed back to black to more closely reflect the colors of the poppies in Flanders, a red flower with a black center. Everyone should be encouraged to wear a poppy, as it is a way to honor the memory of thousands of Canadians who gave their lives in the defense of freedom. Wearing a poppy is a personal expression of remembrance, and how someone chooses to wear a poppy is always an individual choice. That being said, the poppy should be worn with respect on the left side, close to the heart. When wearing standard Legion dress, the poppy is worn on the left lapel, immediately above the Legion lapel badge. When wearing summer dress, the poppy is worn on the shirt, immediately above and centered on the shirt crest. When faced with inclement weather, the poppy is worn on the left side of the outer garment, close to the heart. The lapel poppy should be worn during the remembrance period, from the last Friday in October until November the 11th. The Legion encourages the wearing of poppies at funerals of veterans, at a Legion convention, and for any other commemorative event such as a memorial service, the anniversary of the Battle of Vimy Ridge, the Battle of the Atlantic, and the Battle of Britain, to name but a few. The poppy is also authorized for wear by Legion color parties when on parade. As well, it is not inappropriate to wear a poppy during other times to commemorate fallen veterans, and again, it is an individual choice to do so. Poppies may be worn throughout the remembrance period, including in the evening after the Remembrance Day ceremony. Some people choose to remove their poppy at the end of the day on November the 11th. Others choose to remove their poppy at the conclusion of the ceremony and place their poppy on the cenotaph or on a wreath as a sign of respect. When a poppy is removed, it should be stored appropriately, or it may be disposed of respectfully. Anyone who finds a poppy that has fallen to the ground is encouraged to pick it up and brush it off so that it too can be disposed of respectfully. The Legion was given the responsibility to safeguard the poppy as a sacred symbol of remembrance by the people of Canada through an act in Parliament in which the Legion was granted trademark copyright of the poppy symbol in Canada on June the 30th, 1948. While poppies are always free, the Royal Canadian Legion gratefully accepts donations to the Poppy Fund, which directly supports Canada's veterans and their families in need. Everyone across the country is invited to honor and remember Canada's veterans by proudly wearing the symbol of remembrance and taking a moment to reflect. The blood-red poppy of Flanders is immortalized as an emblem of sacrifice and remembrance for honoring the thousands who laid down their lives for those ideals which we as Canadians cherish. The poppy calls upon us to remember not only those who died, but also those who are left dependent and those who still suffer from honorable wounds and disabilities. The poppy challenges us to serve in peace as in war, to help those who need our protection. Thanks to the millions of Canadians who wear the Legion's lapel poppy each year, the little red flower has never died, and the memory of those who fell in battle remains strong. John McCrae's poem speaks of Flanders fields, but the subject is universal. Fear of the dead, that they will be forgotten, that their death will have been in vain. Remembrance, as symbolized by the poppy, is our eternal answer which belies that fear. They serve till death, why not we? So I end my presentation with the little poem that started it all, In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing flies, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. To our veterans of the past, the present, and the future, we will remember you. Thank you.